Good morning, my dear students. Welcome to online class of biology of class 6th. How are you all? Hope you all are doing good at your home. Students, today in this video of biology, I will start your lesson number first. So, not further delay, take out your book and open lesson number first. Students, about your UT syllabus, in UT syllabus of biology, only one chapter will come. In biology, in your UT, only one chapter will come. This is your first chapter. It will come in your biology subject. Before starting the explanation, listen it, which I am going to tell you some basic things related to biology and science. After the 5th class, you now came in 6th, and the science is differentiated into 3 parts. Your science subject is differentiated into your science is differentiated into 3 parts. Okay, that is physics, chemistry and biology. Okay, this is biology. Now, biology is also consist what? Zoology and botany. Okay, botany and zoology. So zoology is the study of animal, botany is the study of plants. Okay, so we will read about animals and plants both in this biology subject. Okay, so first chapter is plant life and the leaf. So in this chapter, what we read, we will study about plants, root, stem, leaf, type of leaves, venation of leaves, function of leaves, modification of leaves in insectivorous plants. Insectivorous plants mean insects, feeders. Okay, those plants feeds on insects. They are insectivorous plant, and the vegetative propagation in leaves. Okay, so now I am going to start your first chapter explanation. Listen carefully. We see a variety of plants around us. Some are small and some are big. Some plants bear flowers while some do not. There is a large variation in the leaves of plants too. Despite these variations, all plants have some structural similarities. So students, you have seen so many plants about means herbs, shrubs, trees. Have you seen that? But they are different with each other. They are different. Many variations are there. Some bear flowers, some do not bear. Some have large leaves, some do not have large leaves. So after having these variations, still they have something similar, that is structural similarities. Now here the plant. Most of the flowering plants grow from a seed. The embryo contains an embryonic root called radicle and embryonic shoot called plumule. So a seed contains, suppose here I am making a rough diagram of seed. This is seeds, and here it is a radicle. Here this portion is radicle and this portion is shoot. Okay, here I mean plumule. It will grow into shoot and it will grow into fruit. Okay, so the radicle grow downwards in the soil. Here you can see downward to the soil and form the root system, while the plumule grow upwards above the ground and forms shoot system. The root system consists of roots and the shoot system consists of stem, branches, bud, leaves, flowers and fruits. So students, if someone asks you what is shoot, don't say that is a stem. No, not only stem. A shoot itself consists stem, leaf, fruits, flowers, but everything those grow above the ground. That makes shoot system. And the root system consists root and the root hairs. Now come on here. Fact zone. The root, stem and leaves form the vegetative part of the plant, while flowers and fruits form the reproductive parts of the plant. All the plants have vegetative buds which give rise to branches and leaves, and the floral buds which give rise to flowers. Now come on, next page. Here, second page. This demonstration you have to read yourself. And then root, the root. Root fix the plant firmly in the soil, means hardly tightly in the soil. They absorb water and minerals for the growth of the plant. There are two types of roots seen in the plants, taproot system and the fibrous root system. Here first, taproot system, you can see in this diagram. In taproot system, a single primary root elongates and further branch into fine branches. Example, root of pea, balsam, petunia plants. Here you can see only single root is coming from this plant, and after that it is arising in the branches. Only a single thick root. Okay. But in fibrous roots you can see root system. In fibrous root system, a cluster means a group of roots arise from the base of the stem. Example, root of grass, wheat, rice, onion plants. You can see not a single root only, not a single root arising from this plant. The branches here, it is arising in this way, cluster group of roots is arising. So this is the difference difference between taproot system and fibrous root system. Here now, veg zone. The single winter rye plants have the world's largest root system. It is grown in central and eastern Turkey. The roots measure up to the total 62.2 kilometers in length. Enrichment. The apical bud present in the tip of shoot are responsible for the growth of the stem. Same as second, the axillary bud produce new leaves and branches on the stem. Third, on the stem, the leaves and the branches arise from a point called node, and the space between the two successive nodes is called internode. Let me explain you node and internode. You can see, have you seen bamboo tree or sugarcane also? You can see in this way. Okay, so this is the node. This part is called a node, and the different distance between two nodes. One node is here and the second node is here, and this distance between the two nodes is called internode. What we call it? Internode. Okay, this is called internode. Now see explanation of stem. The stem is the main part of the plant that usually grow above the ground. It bears branches, leaves, fruits, buds and flowers. The stem holds the plant upright and exposes the leaf to sunlight and air. It conducts water and dissolved minerals absorbed by the roots to other part of the plant, and also transport food prepared by the leaves throughout the plant body. So stem, it grows above the ground, and what is the function of a stem? It conducts food materials and minerals, water to whole plants through the roots. Okay, through the roots, which is already absorbed by the roots, what water, minerals, it transport into whole plant body. Okay, now come on next page. Type of stems. On the basis of their appearance, stems are of three types: soft stem, hard and woody stem, and the trunk. Soft stem. These stems are green in color. Generally, herbs all have soft stems. Hard and woody stem. This type of stem arises from the basis of the plant and form a bush. Most of the shrubs have this type of stem. Third, trunk. The stem of tree is called trunk. It is a thick, hard and strong stem that is covered with bark. The bark protects the inner part of the trunk of the tree. These are the trunk. I hope you get it. You can see here example: soft and green stem of spinach, hard and woody stem of henna, trunk of a tree. Now difference between root and stem. Root. They generally grow under the ground. They generally grow above the ground. Second, roots are non-green in color. Stems are always green in color and perform the process of photosynthesis. Third, the root doesn't bear all the vegetative parts like leaves, flowers and fruits, the stem always wears all the vegetative part of the plants. The part which is not from the reproductive function, that is vegetative parts. Okay. Fourth, the root tips are protected by the root caps. The shoot tips are protected by the apical buds. Now here, the leaf. A leaf is a flat. Let me before starting leaf, just see these question answers. Assess yourself and facts on also. Origin of potato, you can read it yourself. Assess yourself. What comprises the root system of a plant? Here you can see the answer. The radicle comprises root system of a plant. Second, what comprises the shoot system of a plant? Here's the answer. The plumule comprises the shoot system of plant. Third, what is the function of root in plants? Here, the root firmly holds the plants into the soil and it absorbs water and minerals from the soil for the plants. Students, the question answer I have already completed in your live classes also. If you have not done that in live classes, you can do here. Okay, do from this image, from this video. Fourth, what is the function of a stem in plants? Here you can see the stem bears all vegetative parts such as leaves, fruits, buds and flowers of the plants. Okay, so these are the question answer of assess yourself. Now next, leaf. The leaf. The leaf is a flat, thin, usually green structure that arises from the node present on the stem. It has an axillary bud in its axil. Next, a typical leaf has the following main parts. Leaf base. So first is leaf base. The part joining the leaf to the stem at the end of the petiole is called the leaf base. It is a small and slightly swollen part of which is a leaf is attached to the stem. So the part joining the leaf, जो part leaf को stem से join करता है, that is and end to the petiole is leaf base. It is also slightly swollen part by which a leaf is attached to the stem. You can see in this image. Here you can see. Here it is the leaf base is here. This one, leaf base. Okay. Now next, leaf stalk or petiole. It is a short, narrow and basal part of the leaf which hold up the leaf blade and connect to the stem. Most of the leaf connect with the stem like this and called a petiolate leaf. Here you can see this is the petiole of the leaf. This is the part which connects the leaf blade to the stem. It is called petiole. If it bears a leaf, if a leaf bear petiole, that is called petiolate leaf. If petiole is absent, अगर absent होता है, that is called sessile leaf. Now axillary bud. It is a type of bud developed from the axil of leaf. It is capable of developing into a branch, the shoot or a cluster of flower. Here you can see it is an axillary bud. Next, leaf blade. The flat, expanded and thin part of the leaf is called leaf blade or lamina. It is mostly green in color. Its tip is also called leaf apex. You can see here the diagram. This whole is called leaf blade and lamina. Lamina is also another name of leaf blade. Okay, and the upper part of the leaf blade is called leaf apex. Now next, leaf margin. The edges of leaf blade is called leaf margin. Different leaves have different type of margins. For example, peepal leaf has complete margin, rose leaf has toothed margins, and leaf of ashoka plants has wavy margin. So if I will draw a leaf here, you can see it is a type of leaf, and here in this way also we draw the leaf. Okay, and the peepal leaf also here in this way. Some has this way. So these are the margin. Here I have drawn, these are the margin of leaves. Okay, midrib. Now midrib. What is midrib? The leaf blade has a thick midrib. Midrib is, suppose I am here again a leaf. This is the midrib which I am drawing in the middle. This is the midrib of leaf. Okay. You can see also in this picture. Here it is midrib. Okay. Now next, veins. Lateral branches of the midrib are called veins. They further branches out of veinlets. Vein and veinlets conduct water and dissolved minerals absorbed by the roots into the leaf and transport prepared food from the leaf to the stem. The arrangement of veins in the leaf blade is called venation. So students, you can see here, I am drawing here. See, this is the midrib and the veins here. I am drawing this. These are the veins. Again, if the veins are coming from a single vein, that is veinlets. Okay, and the arrangement of vein in the leaf blade, that is called venation. What we call that? Venation. Now come on next page. Here, types of leaves. Leaves may be of two types, simple and compound. Simple leaves. A simple leaf has only one leaf blade or lamina. The leaves of mango, papaya, guava and banyan tree are simple leaves. Second, compound leaf. A compound leaf is one in which the leaf blade is clearly cut, divided into many distinct parts called leaflets. The leaves of rose, neem, gulmohar are example of compound leaves. Here you can see, students, it is a single leaf. And the compound leaf of neem is also a single leaf, but here you can see the clear cut. It is divided into leaflets. So it is called a compound leaf and it is a simple leaf. Okay. And the thing zone I will give you in my next video. Today I will give you explanation here. Now come on next page. Venation of leaves. Venation of leaves. The arrangement of vein and veinlets of the leaf blade is known as venation. There are two types of venation, pellular venation and reticulate venation. So, arrangement of vein and veinlets on the leaf is called venation. Now see pellular venation. In this type of venation, the vein of leaf learn parallel to each other. For example, leaf of maize, fan, palm and banana. You can see in this image the pellular venation in banana leaves. In this way, veins are arranged parallelly. Okay, so this is the pellular venation and reticulate. In this type of venation, the vein and veinlet of the leaves are interconnected over the entire lamina, forming a web-like network. For example, leaf of castor, peepal and mango. So you can see the banana leaves. Have you seen banana leaves, students, in this way? Okay, so it is the midrib of banana leaves and the veins are arising from the banana leaves in this way. Okay, in this way. So these are the pellular venation. This is the pellular venation. But in people, have you seen? You can see in this image veins. You can see network-like structure is here. This is called the reticulate venation. Now function of leaves. Now see function of leaves. Manufacture of food. The main function of leaf is manufacture of food. The green leaves prepare food of the plant presence of sunlight and chlorophyll by the process called photosynthesis. In this process, the leaves carbon dioxide water to prepare food form of starch. So leaves prepared food in the form of starch by the process of photosynthesis. And what are the things which is used for the photosynthesis are carbon dioxide, sunlight and chlorophyll. Okay, you can see the equation of photosynthesis here. Carbon dioxide gas, water, they are making starch and oxygen gas releasing. They are releasing oxygen gas. So that's why, because leaf prepare food for the plant, that's why it is also called the food factory of plants. Now transpiration, whenever the water rate increases in the leaf do a process that is called transpiration to remove that water from it. So excess water absorbed by the roots of the plants is released into the air through the tiny pores present on the lower surface of leaf. These tiny pores are called stomata, and the process of releasing excess water by the plant is called transpiration. So leaves, what they do, leaves remove the water, excess water from the from itself, from the leaf, from the plants, by the process of transpiration and by the stomata. By the stomata, leaf remove excess water. Now come on next page. Here the function of leaf next is gaseous exchange. During the daytime, for performing photosynthesis, plants take carbon dioxide and releasing oxygen through the stomata. Stomata also helps in gaseous exchange. Plants, like other living organisms, respire continuously a day and night. The process of respiration, they take oxygen and release carbon dioxide through the stomata. So students, plants take carbon dioxide and release oxygen. So during day, stomata help them to take carbon dioxide, release stomata, but at night stomata close. So but the plant don't stop the respire. You can see this important thing. During the day, as a result of photosynthesis, the oxygen gas released by the plant, it is used by the other living organisms for their respiration. As a result of respiration, the plants release carbon dioxide, which is poisonous in nature. Therefore, it is advisable not to sleep under the tree at night. So during the daytime, plants do photosynthesis, so they release oxygen for the organism. But at night, during respiration, because at night plants do respiration, they release carbon dioxide, that is poisonous for us, because we take only oxygen and release carbon dioxide. If we will sleep under the tree at night, we will get excess of carbon dioxide, that is poisonous for us. So it is advisable not to sleep under the tree at night. You can see your think zone is also here. This I will give you in my next video, only explanation listen. You can do this experiment at home also. Hydroelectrics, you will get the demonstration there. To prove that during the process of photosynthesis, oxygen is evolved in green plants. Means oxygen evolved in the green plants. Okay, you can read it. Now come on. So it is sufficient for today. In my next video, I will give you another topic. I will explain you another topic. Thank you. Have a nice day. Take care. And your today's homework is you have to read all the hard terms and their meanings. You have to read hard terms and their meaning. You have to search their meaning yourself. If still you will get any problem, you can ask me directly in your live class. Thank you. Have a nice day. Take care.